Asalım. Yanında Türkiye'nin kamerası var mı?
Var.
Kırmızı mı oturabilirsin? Yani kız çıkmasın. Bugün oturarlar tamam. Neydi? Burs koyup oturmuşsun. Ya şimdi hazır. Bir olmak için. Kızlar kim? Lütfen. Tamam. Senin başka basan mı? Senin yaxshi, bugun necha odam, hozir necha odam uzoqlaydi?
Bugun umuman
Hozir
7 odam, keyin 7 odam. 14 odam.
Hozir 7 bormi? Tak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sen japaysın. Sen japaysın? Oldu. Oturabilir. Oturabilirsin. Yeni kırmışı olacak. Kırmışı olacak. Oldu. Hazır baslarımız iyi yapılabiliyoruz. Size tayarsınız mı? Anneniz. Dokumentleriniz, vasıtası, slaytınız, aytat konzaktınız tayar mı? Oldu. Son şunu soramadıklarında kim hazır şirketin bitime bize satılıyor. Assalamu alaikum tarafından hükümetler komisya asları, komisya azaları hükümetler geliştirip bugün de karar toplamı getirip görüştükte şekilleri faaliyetinde firavun yanıtında bulduğu İngilizce'de bakalavraların gelişi 2024 yılında okulunda gelişi sınıflardan gelişen yolculuğun sağlığı follow prosesi asalavalında tutuz. Üniversite direktörünün 2025 yıl 16 iyun kurumda koyuyor benim sınıflarga gelişlerge 9 kız eşitliği yani bir çıkan bir son politikada 9'larımızda korona başlıyoruz gerek. Yani memleket komisyası azalarının bilen basıda azalarının tanıştırılıyor. Şimdi bir yerde hazır alanımızda ve Firuza yani değiller pedagogika İktisadi bir pedagogika institutu da sanatı demek PhD. Oradaki oturduğum kayıtlı Firuza davet ediyorlar. Maksimum olan bu kızımızdan bu komisya azasında İktisadi bir pedagogika institutu da sanatı PhD. Kim Sarınas
Yusupova
Sarınas nazarında oturdu. Bir de Tumul Birinci Sağlığı Akademisi, Üniversite Akademik Liseyi Şekilleri Federasyonu Basın Okutuşusu, komisya azası, Jolbası var, Rahar Bakarı'nın kameramız basıldı. PhD doçent, Sapaniyaz Rüstü Şakazıç, PhD doçent, kadro doçenti, iyi Miran Barman Solskisi, pedagogika ilmi kandidatı, kadro ve kadro doçenti komisya basıldı olması. Çin'de olarak Gülzar Azamat'la usul komisyanın tatkiri. Hazır yerde fakülte boyunca 3 yılda zaten ulusal basılan var. 3 alacaksan 4 komisya azası barıp gelip yenilerde kadavalan tuttular. Hazır benim sonundayız ve bu yakada basılamız gerekiyor, bu yakada atlamışımız gerekiyor. Onda sözde sizlerge tavsiye koyduğum halde sözde takdir ediyoruz.
Good morning, dear professors and teachers and our graduating students. Let me start today's bachelor's qualification thesis defense. And the chairman of State Attestation Commission, Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, Firuza Karimberdievna Alanazarova, the docent of English Language and Literature Department of Nukus State Pedagogical Institute.
I've already mentioned all these things in Tagalog language. That's why we'll need to restart, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry.
Okay. And now it's time to announce our graduating students. Our first student is Nurjamal Bakırbayevna Kıdırbayeva. With her scientific work, the usage of social networking service in developing B1 level learners' writing skills with her scientific advisor, Doctor of Science, docent Khalifa Darabayevna Palvanova from Uzbekistan State World Languages University.
Good morning, respected teachers. My full name is Katerbaeva Nurjama Patribaevna, and today I'm going to present our research entitled The Usage of Social Networking Service in Developing B1 Level Learners' Writing Skills. And currently, we are experiencing global transformations in the field of language education with a growing focus on early English learning at the kindergarten. In Uzbekistan, presidential decrees issued in 2019 and 2021 have emphasized the importance of English language acquisition and also promotion of the multilingualism in Uzbekistan. And also essential part of these reforms is the integration of the digital tools, especially social networking devices, to encourage self-directed and practical learning. And also, although social networking platforms are highly famous among students, and little research has been conducted on how they can enhance B1 level writing skills. So our research aims to explore this field, especially among students in Nupus. And also actuality of our research. The enhancement of English teaching methods remains a national focus in Uzbekistan. Social networking platforms mostly provides authentic and interactive writing opportunities for students. And also, however, despite the potential, there is still limited research on how social networking devices can effectively encourage writing proficiency, and this study aims to address this gap by examining how social networking can help to improve writing skill at the B1 level learners. And the objective and subjective of the research. Mainly, the objective of our research is the use of social networking platforms in English language teaching and learning, and also the subject focuses on B1 level learners, and also the teachers who use and integrate social networking devices into writing instruction. And also the study investigates how two groups engage with these digital tools in educational contexts. And the aim and objectives of our research. The primary aim of this research is to evaluate the effectiveness of social networking devices in developing B1 level learners' writing skills, and also to obtain this one, we have several objectives. For example, to explore the role of social networking devices in language teaching, and also to identify the most used platforms among B1 level learners, and to analyze the teaching strategies involving social networking platforms. And also, this research addresses two key questions. We try to answer these two questions. First one is, what role do social networking services play in improving B1 level learners' writing? And second, which platforms are most frequently used for writing practice in English? And the hypothesis is that students who use social networking platforms for writing practice will demonstrate significantly stronger rather than students who don't use the social networking platforms. And the scientific novelty of our research. Our study mostly focuses on using familiar digital tools, not just for communication, but for educational purposes. But there is limited research on technology in education, so our work examines real-time writing practice, real peer feedback, and also self-expression through social networking platforms. During finding some information, we used some prominent scholars' works, and we drew inspiration from the works of Stefan Krashen, Jeff Richards, and David Muna, Willy Kinande, as well as local researchers like Jalalov, Makhemova, and also Ashur's work. And next one. Okay. During working research, we used a mixed method approaches. combining both quantitative and qualitative data. And also during this research, the participants were 38 B1 level learners aged 17 and 18 from school number 27 in Lupus, and we collected data through surveys and pre and past tests and observation logs. The platforms involved were Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also this intervention lasted 8 weeks with a social networking service-based writing tasks. And the next one, access to digital devices. And this slide shows data on students' access to digital devices. Regular access to smartphones and computers was regular for participating in our work, especially in social networking service-based activities. And particularly, most users in the study has necessary devices to engage successfully. And next one is here we can see some platforms most commonly used by the students among, especially among secondary schools, and the Facebook and the WhatsApp were the most preferred and then followed by TikTok. These platforms provided environment where students could write in English informally but purposefully. Next one. Writing performance. Here we can see the one comparison. The comparison highlights a notable improvement in writing performance after the 8-week intervention, and the students' grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure, and organization showed significant progress. And the main findings are as follows: a significant improvement in writing fluency and also mechanics. And over 94% of students reported enhanced spelling and vocabulary. Social networking services offered a relaxed, enjoyable environment for writing practice, and peer feedback on social networking services encouraged students to revise and improve their writing skill. In conclusion, the research confirmed that social networking services have a positive effect on B1 learners' writing skills. The students demonstrated growth in grammar, vocabulary, organization. And the social networking services also helped reduce writing anxiety and also improve their writing confidence and also writing motivation. The informal nature of these platforms made writing practice was meaningful and engaging. And thank you for your attention. I welcome any questions, and also I hope this research will inspire new approaches to integrating technology into English language teaching and learning.
So, I have just one question. So, can you give me some information about the research practice, really active practice?
Okay. As I mentioned above, there is one comparison. This comparison highlights.
Where you have
Yes.
implemented
Yes.
this research.
Throughout the intervention with the social networking service-based writing tasks by Telegram chats, WhatsApp group chats, and also Facebook posts, TikTok captions show that students gradually produced more cohesive and fluent writing. Especially at the early stages, students often submitted brief and disorganized sentences, but as the weeks progressed, their responses became more structured and also well organized by using social networking services.
No.
How many students took part in your research, and where you have implemented it?
During investigating this research, participants' number were 38, and also this research we used this research in 22nd school in Lupus. B1 level learners, yes.
Suggest or suggest.
Okay, review given to this bachelor's thesis of Khaderbayeva Nur Jamal. As a reviewer, I commend the author for the methodological rigor and clarity of analysis. The findings not only affirm the value of SNS in modern English instruction, but also provide practical recommendations for educators seeking to innovate their approach to writing education. The thesis is commendable contribution to the field of language pedagogy and digital learning. Therefore, I recommend the author Khaderbayeva Nur Jamal be awarded the bachelor's degree as required. Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science docent Hüseyinova Gulmira, Nukus State Pedagogical Institute. Okay. The second student is Jamal Batarbayevna Khaderbayeva with her scientific work, The Effectiveness of Using TBL for Teaching Speaking at Secondary Schools. Her scientific advisor is Doctor of Science docent Khalifa Darbayevna Palvanova from Uzbekistan State World Languages University.
Good morning, respected committee members and teachers. My full name is Khaderbayeva Jamal Batarbayevna, and I am pleased to present our diploma research on the effectiveness of using task-based learning in order to improve speaking at secondary schools. And usually this study explores communicative teaching. Communicative teaching shows more results for improving speaking skill at secondary schools in Uzbekistan. Speaking is one of the most important skills, and it is a direct and interactive to communication. With globalization, most scholars and school systems use speaking skills with integrated teaching methods. So in Uzbekistan, a major turning around came. Our president of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, signed a decree on May 19th, 2021. It announced that all students around Uzbekistan must know at least 2 foreign languages and at least 2 foreign languages frequently. And also there is an official agency that supports language learning. Actuality of our research. Usually, today speaking is not a classroom activity. It is a lifestyle because speaking is more important for traveling, for working, and also for studying. That's why it's important to explore new methods that helps students to learn the speaking effectively and in creative way. One of these methods is task-based learning, or TBL. It usually focuses on real communication tasks like meaningful tasks and student interactions. These tasks require students to speak naturally and use the language actively. However, in Uzbekistan, this method is not widely used. The objective of our research. The objective of our research is the use of TBL in secondary school in Uzbekistan, and the subject of our research includes students from the secondary school. They are around A2 and B1 levels, and the teachers who use TBL in their classes. The main aim of our research is to examine how TBL helps students to improve the speaking skill in school at schools, and in order to achieve this goal, we focus on several objectives. First one is to understand the basic principles and benefits of TBL. Second is to identify which speaking tasks are more essential and helpful for students, and third one is to study how teachers organize and apply these tasks, and the last one is to measure effects of TBL on fluency, accuracy, and confidence. During the research, we tried to answer these following questions. First one is, what is the role of TBL, and what types of tasks is the most effective, and what problems do teachers face during the lesson, and how does TBL compare with the traditional teaching methods? Based on these questions, we suggest the following hypothesis. Usually task-based learning improves students' speaking skill abilities better than traditional methods because it helps them to speak more fluently, more accuracy, and also more confident. And the scientific novelty, usually this research is innovative, so it studies the use of TBL in secondary schools in Uzbekistan. Research methodology overview. We used a quasi-experimental method, and this means that we had two groups. One is experimental group, second one is control group. Control group used the traditional method in order to speak fluently, and the experimental group used the TBL method, and they gave more group presentations in order to improve their speaking skills. The participants were 40 students, and they are 10th and 11th grade from the educational center in Nubus, called Edu City School. And we tried this method as an experiment at this education center. And the period is 6 weeks. And as you can see, the control group's average score increased slightly from 27 to 29%, and experimental group increased to the 27% to 35%, and the data clearly shows that TBL had a positive impact on students' speaking skill. And as a conclusion, task-based learning slightly enhances students' speaking skills. It supports fluency, accuracy, and vocabulary development and learners' confidence. And also, the findings suggest that TBL should be widely adopted across the secondary schools in Uzbekistan. And finally, thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to hear your questions.
So I have one question. So what type of speaking activities or tasks you would suggest as effective for secondary school learners? What types of speaking tasks?
Speaking tasks. Usually, speaking tasks are divided into several parts, like brainstorming or picture storytelling or picture describing, and etc. But for me, the effective one is brainstorming. When I teach the students, I try to use this method among them, because I give each student one topic, and they should find the more information, like drawing the brainstorming, and they should individually speak this topic freely in front of the others.
If you want to see, I have several PPTs. If you want to show this, I have. We used these PPTs during the experiment. Handouts. The handouts. So experiment breakdown'da alınan neticeleri hallettiler arkadaşlar.
So I listened to your presentation and you mentioned diploma. What is diploma? The next question, actualness, how do you pronounce? Modality, what does it mean, modality? What is actuality?
Actuality.
What does it mean, normality?
Actuality is
Actuality, где ничего, просто произношение. Actuality, novelty, делать так? А дай существует, да, за существует Израиль. What is novelty?
The spreadness of the speaking skill among the world. Actuality is its importance at that moment.
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. How do you pronounce it?
Мария, знак какой?
Actuality.
How do you pronounce Nasna in English?
Actuality and novelty. Novelty. Novelty. Novelty.
So you should pay more attention to your pronunciation. Next, you said CBL isn't widely used, yes, in your speech. In Uzbekistan, CBL isn't used widely.
Isn't
The basics. How do you know that it is not widely used?
I think most of them, just some of the schools don't have digital tools like PPT shower, like electronic tasks. So some students.
Is not used.
Next time I will try to correct all mistakes.
Also, your work is based on task-based learning, yes? As far as we know, task-based learning is also known as task-based learning teaching.
Yes.
Can you give some examples for task-based learning?
Task-based learning.
And what is it focused on?
Usually, task-based learning method or task-based language teaching, it usually focuses on the real communication tasks like student interaction or how to say tasks that are interact all students during the lesson and give more confidence when they learn new things during the lesson.
Thank you.
Where did you implement?
Where did you implement? At the educational center in Nubus, called City School. City School.
Thank you for your answers.
Okay, review given to this bachelor's thesis of Kudurbayev Jamal. In conclusion, this is a well-considered and academically rigorous thesis that reflects both the author's dedication and the study's relevance to current educational priorities. I strongly recommend that author will be awarded the bachelor's degree as required, given by Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science docent Usenba Gulmira Albulayevna from Nugus State Pedagogical Institute. Okay, next student is Aynura Palbay Kazadalevbayeva with her scientific work, Improving Teachers and Students' Achievements through Teacher Observation and Feedback. The scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science docent Rashid Khojamuratovich Yilmuratov, Associate Professor of English Linguistics Department of Karakalpak State University.
Respected committee members, dear colleagues and guests, good day. I'm honored to stand before you to present our research on the topic improving teachers and students' achievements through teacher observation and feedback. Teaching and learning are dynamic process that requires continuous reflection and adaptation. One effective way to foster improvement in those areas is through structured classroom observation and timely, meaningful feedback. In this presentation, I will explain how these tools contribute to professional growth and educational success. Research aim and objects. And the main aim of our research is to explore how teacher observation and feedback can improve classroom participants and learning achievements. Main objectives are to identify effective observation techniques and to analyze feedback strategies that enhance performance and to evaluate the impact of these practices on student and teacher outcomes. Importance of classroom observation. Classroom observation it isn't just supervision, it's a professional development tool. It helps teachers reflect on their practices, promotes collaboration among colleagues, and support a culture of continuous improvement. And research methodology. In our research, we used a qualitative approach supported by observational data and surveys. The methodology included structured and unstructured observation techniques, feedback interviews, and teachers' reflections. This mixed method approach allowed for a deeper understanding of both process and the impact of observation and feedback. Type of class observations. There are several types of classroom observations. They are formal observation, usually done by administrators. Peer observation, which encourage professional dialogues. Self-observation, where teacher reflect on video recordings or lesson logs. Benefits of observation. Observation help teachers gain insight in their teaching style, classroom management, and student engagement. It also encourages professional growth, identifies best practices, and allows for target feedback. Challenges in observation. Despite in the benefits, observation has some drawbacks. They include anxiety, discomfort among other teachers, lack of time for proper feedback. Tools for observation. Tools for observation to ensure consistency and objectivity. Various tools are used in the classroom observation. These include checklists for specific behaviors, narrative summaries, and questionnaires. I made questionnaire among our group mates related to this topic. And insights from case study. My practical research was conducted at school number 22. I observed several classes and using tools like checklists, narrative summaries, and so on. And key findings. My findings showed that teachers became more reflective and open to feedback. Students responded positively to improved teaching techniques, and structured observations lead to measurable improvements in the lesson delivery. And when I was a student teacher at this school, I always observed my class carefully and tried to give suitable feedback, each of them. And during the lessons, it's really important to analyze every pupil, participants, as they should get knowledge and know weak area which they can work. Whenever I give them feedback, I always use it feedback sandwich technique. This technique is used to give a balanced evaluation and direct them to right way of language learning. It has three parts. First step is say something good for students. Start with nice comment. For example, you did a great job. And the second step is say what can be better, give advice or correction. For example, try to use more different words next time. And the last step is say something good again. For example, keep it up, you are improving fast. And thank you for your attention, and I hope that this presentation has highlighted the value of teacher observation and feedback.
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Your topic is related to feedback, and in your presentation you have mentioned about structured and unstructured interview methodology. Yeah. Could you just tell about the difference about structured and unstructured interview and explain which one is most effective to take qualitative results?
Structured interviews use it, for example, business interviews and others. Unstructured interviews, for example, structured interviews is a formal interview methods where each candidate is asked the same set of predetermined questions in the same order. Key features of standard questions, pre-planned formats, and so on. Unstructured interviews is more informal and conversational. The questions aren't predetermined, can vary based on the follow conversations. Key features of these open-ended, flexible questions, and interviewer adapts based on the response, and often used in qualitative research or exploratory discussions.
What's actuality of the topic? Actuality.
Actuality, actuality of my research paper. Feedbacks should be timely and specific, can constructive. It should focus on observable behavior and offer clear suggestions for improvement using models like the sandwich technique, positive feedback, followed by areas for growth and ending with encouragement.
So you have written in your work, actuality of our qualification services to make changes of methodological parameters. What kind of change you have made? And what's your object of research?
My objects of a research paper to identify effective observation techniques and to analyze feedback structure that can enhance performance and to evaluate the impact of these practices.
These are tasks. These are tasks of the research. What's object? What you have investigated? Analyze. We just for example, was professional development. Object of the research. So international object, the professional development. That's why I asked for clarification.
Objectives in the technical the identify
Professional development is also actually to make changes, for example, methodological paradigms. Seja que a gente vê lá, você vai change. Lá do objetivo, vou dar uma puxada ali.
Innovative understanding is workout, using strategies and methodological recommendations.
What is qualitative quantitative method? Thank you.
Thank you for your attention and
We have one more question.
Okay, what are teachers' achievements through teacher observation and feedback?
teacher achievements. Teachers became more reflective and open to feedback, and students responded positively to improved teaching techniques, and structured observation led to measurable improvement in the lesson delivery. Overall, the process boosted motivation and professional growth.
You may take your 6 minutes.
Thank you.
Review given to this bachelor qualification this on the theme improving teachers and students' achievement through teacher observation and feedback. We can say one of the methods of classroom is investigation area, namely observation followed by feedback presents an opportunity to see real life teachers in real life teaching situations vividly. Generally, the present qualification thesis has been completed in accordance with the requirements to the bachelor qualification work and may be admitted to the defense. Okay, next student is Faizolayeva Guzada Umid with her scientific work, Linguocultural Peculiarities of Phraseological Units Expressing Physical State of a Person. Her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy on Philological Science, Gauhar Batirivna Joldasova, Head of English Linguistics Department of Karagaldaq State University.
Good morning, everybody. My full name is Faizolayeva Guzada. Our topic, cultural peculiarities of phraseological units expressing physical state of a person. So I am going to talk about our topic. The main of the work, the main of this research is to investigate the role of phraseological units in expressing physical states in English and Uzbek. So the object of the work, the object of this research is the phraseological units in used English and Uzbek to express various physical states, including illness, fatigue, emotional distress, and vitality. Next, the subject of the study. The subject of the study is the comparison and analysis of phraseological units expressing physical state in English and Uzbek, with a particular focus on the cultural and emotional connotation embedded in these expressions. The novelty of this work lies in its comparative approach to study phraseological units that express physical states in Uzbek and English, focusing on cultural, emotional, and metaphorical of these expressions. And the structure of our work: introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, and conclusion. Introduction, the chapters introduces the topic, outlines the research objectives, and discusses the significance of the study in context of phraseological units and cultural difference. Chapter 1, this chapter explores the concept of phraseological units, the theoretical framework for studying them, and role of language in reflecting cultural and emotional states. Chapter 2, this chapter provides a detailed analysis of phraseological units in Uzbek and English that describe physical state with example and cultural interpretations. The final chapters summarize the finding and discuss the inflection and suggest possible direction for further research in the field of phraseological and intercultural communication. Phraseological units fixed combination of the words with future meaning and reflect the cultural, emotional, and physical states and not directly translate word for word. Phraseological units are fixed expression with metaphorical meanings deeply rooted in culture, and they often express physical or emotional state and reveal culture world views. Example in English: under the weather, an idiom that means feel sick or ill. and in a bad shape. An idiom means that poor the physical condition. Next example, feel blue, emotionally low, and down in the dumps. An idiom that means sad and exhausted. Comparison with other cultures, Russian language, как выжатый лимон, like a squeezed lemon, and idiom means that tired. Uzbek language, көңілі boş, emotionally sensitive, and Japanese language, karadaga daru, body feel heavy. And next, visual example, illustration of people showing under the weather, down in the depths, feel blue, in a bad shape, each idiom linked to physical posture or facial expressions. As a conclusion, phraseological units are linguistic and cultural tools. They convey both physical state and cultural attitudes, and understanding them enhance communication and cultural insights. Thank you.
So your topic is legal cultural peculiarities of phraseological units expressing physical state of a person. What you said, I've compared it with Uzbek language. Yes, some examples. Why?
Compare other languages.
It was your aim, or just for clarification?
Aim.
Aim.
Yeah.
What is legal cultural approach? And examples which shows legal cultural features of phraseological units, which show expresses physical state of person. In terms of legal cultural peculiarities, the kind of legal cultural peculiarities. What peculiarities you have? Typical English culture. Example, like?
Examples?
Слайд там кто слайд 50 в этом случае.
The English phrases bring the eyes. Break the ice doesn't mean literally breaking ice. It is a cultural metaphor for starting a conversation in a tense or awkward situations.
Да, слайд после. Conceptualmente for physical state. And to culture set of Butterflies in what stomach? What does it mean? As hungry as a wolf, as hungry as a wolf.
Buradaki aç.
So English culture, they say, I'm as hungry as a wolf. Yeah?
Yes.
Bu culture'sına байланысты olur. Ondan sonra culture.
How many physiological units expressing physical state of the person did you see?
How many?
Yes. So did you find any similarities and differences when you compare these two languages?
Similarities.
Some character development.
Difference. Blue emotionally love, but blue sadness in the Western cultures. And under the weather, feeling ill, but under the weather, nautical origin, sailors ill from storm.
Thank you for your presentation.
Review given to this bachelor qualification thesis. In conclusion, the bachelor qualification thesis is conducted in accordance with the academic standards required for undergraduate research. The topic is timely, the research is original, and the conclusion is well-founded. Therefore, the work may be confidently recommended for defense. Given by Alanazarova Firuza Kalbedievna, Doctor of Philosophy of Philological Science and docent.
The next presenter.
Next presenter is Erkayeva Shaplaxon Ergashqızı with her scientific work, shortening words in English and ways of their translation into Uzbek. Her scientific advisor is candidate of philological science, docent Leomratov Genceman.
Good morning, my name is Erkayeva Shaplaxon. Our topic shocking words in English and the ways of their translation into Uzbek. The actually of the research As we all know, units in a language cannot always be translated directly or literally from one language to another, because these units loses its meaning and color. Therefore, when translating from one language to another, it is advisable and give the equivalent of that words. The aim of the research. The main goal of this final qualifying work is to highlight the use of abbreviation in English, their role and the function in society, their differences and similarities, and if possible to find the Uzbek equivalent of the abbreviation used in them. The scientific novelty of the research, interpretation of English abbreviation by isolating separate group and studying them by diving them into group according to the relationship of form and meaning. Example, UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, FAQ, frequently asked question, atom, automatic teller machine, as soon as possible, to to describe the role of English abbreviation in modern linguistics, to describe the internal structure abbreviation of the English language, such as structural, semantic, and grammatical, to demonstrate the specific basic linguistic essence of abbreviation in English language. The object and the subject of research, abbreviation in English, which are considered one of the most multifaceted aspects linguistic. The object of this research. The subject of the research comprises specifically those abbreviations that are divided into groups and used in relation to various files. Method of research, comparing and analyzing. Abbreviations are similar in form, some in meaning, and some in pronunciation. According to those abbreviations are divided into homonymous abbreviation and synonymous abbreviation. Homonymous abbreviation AP airplane, AP American plant, AP Associational Press, synonymous abbreviations doc, doctor, dear, doctors. Thank you for your attention.
So you have written your work in Uzbek languages, but you decided to make a presentation in English. So what types of shortenings you have investigated in your research? What types of shortenings? Kısaltmanın kategorilerini öğrenmişsiniz. Kısaltmanın kategorilerini özümüzün ilmi işimizde konuşuyoruz.
Homonymous and synonymous.
Hop, mana munosabatiga qarab qisqartmalarning turlari deb beriladi.
Object of the investigation. Meni zerledim, object degan joyi meni zerledim. Meni zerledim. Nimani tadqiq qildim. Qisqartmalar qaysi tilda? İngliz va qaysi? O'zbek tillarida shu sizning ishingizning obyekti bo'ladi. Tushunasizmi? Obyekt sizning shu. İngliz va o'zbek tillaridagi qisqartma so'zlarni qayerdan o'rgandingiz? Sanatlarda.
Hayajonlanma.
Hayajonlanma kerak emas. Tursaylar. Просто yazgan adam tushunadi da o'zbek tilida yozibdi, sizga ingliz emas. Obyektni aqllanishni bilib olishingiz kerak. Nima chiqartilish degan. Men asosan savollar bermoqchiman. Tarjima qilish usullari desak, tarjima qilishning qanday usullari bor degan savol berishadi. Temamizda har bir so'z o'ylanadi. So'rab qolishim mumkin. Analar kirib o'tirmakda, o'sha yetti жағдайда, что туда, что туда. Hamma kelib kerakda, bu открытие, zashita. Komissiya bilan debatlar o'tmaydi.
What are the results of your investigation?
Aslında aytsanlar bo'ladi. O'zbekchami, inglizchami?
Qanday xulosaga keldingiz ishingizni?
Qisqartmalarni asosku o'zbek tilida yozganimizda shu tushunchasi. Qanday переводlaymiz? Qo'y so'z bilan uni bilasizlar, men ustiga kelib sho'rlayman. Bu turaba yaxshi, rahmat.
Peki. Hayajonlanma.
Review given to this qualification of this on the same shortening words in English and ways of their translation into Uzbek. The work has many examples and illustration materials. The final qualifying work of Erkayeva Shahraman is a complete independent research and considers topical problems of modern lexicology, which concern word formation problems. Finally, the qualification thesis by Erkayeva Shahraman is fulfilled according to the rules of compiling, such kind of bachelor work and can be estimated positively. Given by Jalgas Nurjan, Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, docent of Mukus State Pedagogical Institute. Next presenter is Tumova Umide Umurbek with her scientific work, Semantics of Phraseological Unit with the verbal component to have in English. Her scientific advisor is candidate of Philological Science, docent Yograt Gidjiman.
Good morning, everybody. My full name is Tumwa Mida. My scientific advisor's name is Lemrat Genjamrat, and I'm going to talk about phraseological units, and our topic is semantics of phraseological units with a verbal component to have. Can I start, please? Our topic is content. Content includes introduction and chapter 1, phraseology as an object of linguistic research, and chapter 2, semantic features of verbal phraseological units. And chapter 1, phraseology as an object of linguistic research, subject and objectives of phraseology. Subject of phraseology units are social relationships, human emotions, life situations, actions, and emotions. Objectives of phraseology are enrich language expressions, metaphorical meaning, and convey cultural and maintain language idiomacy and style. Phraseological units are fixed expression with idiomatic meaning, and this presentation explores phraseological units, their types, semantics, and usage. And this research focuses on phraseological units with verbal components, particularly those with to have. The novelty of this research lies in the structural and functional of analysis of phraseological units with to have as the core element, contributing to the further development in the field of English phraseology. And the practical value lies in its applicability in teaching lexicology, translation, and idiomatic usage in English courses and academic research. The goal of this research is to analyze English idioms, phraseological units with verb to have, and explore their variability and definitions and so on. And objectives. Objectives include defining the nature and components of English phraseological units, classifying their types, and analyzing structural, semantic, and stylistic meaning of the unit of phraseological units with the wish to have. And the object of the research is verbal phraseological units containing the component to have and so on. Other objectives enrich language expressions, metaphorical meaning, convey cultural and maintain language idiomacy and style and others. Methods used: comparative analysis and social linguistic comparison of English and Russian idioms. Theoretical foundation includes words in general linguistic lexicology, translation, phraseology by scholars Alexander Kunin, Nikitin, Vinogradov, Kazakova, and etc. Chapter 1, Phraseology as an object of linguistic research. The chapter explores definition, objectives, and structure of phraseology as linguistic discipline. And types of phraseological units based on their semantic cohesion. There are four types: phraseological fusions, phraseological unities, phraseological collocations, and phraseological expressions. Phraseological fusions. Phraseological fusions are a type of idiomatic expression where the meaning of the whole phrase cannot be guessed from the meaning of individual words. For example, kick the bucket. Literally meaning kick the bucket, but real meaning is to die. And phraseological unities are idiomatic expressions whose meaning is not entirely predictable from the meanings of individual words, but still particularly motivated. For example, to lose one's head. Literal meaning boşuna yok ateş, and real meaning to panic or lose control. To break the ice, literal meaning muzna sındıraş, real meaning to initiate a conversation in social setting or start a conversation with others in meeting or other social meetings. And phraseological collocations. Phraseological collocations used together, but their meaning are still mostly literal and predictable. These phrases are not idiomatic. For example, make a decision. One word to decide. Do a decision is incorrect. Make a decision is correct. And as an example, to have a rest, one word is relax. And phraseological expressions includes proverbs, quotations, slogans, and expressions. Proverbs are general and sayings that in giving advice and others. For example, honesty is the best thing. And quotations are words or sentences by a famous person or scholars for example, to be or not to be, the question. This is the question by William Shakespeare. And structural structural types of verbal phraseological units. Structurally phraseological units are important in semantics of phraseological units, and for example, word plus noun, word plus phrase, word plus adverb, word plus adverb, and so on. For example, word plus noun, kick the bucket. Word plus phrase, give up or stop trying. And word plus adverb, word plus pronoun.
Mida, please your conclusion of your work.
Conclusion, the study confirms that phraseological units will to have form an important subcategory of English idioms. They demonstrate a high degree of variability and are essential for developing idiomatic and fluent English language.
Mida, yes?
Yes.
So, what is the theme of your qualification work?
Please repeat.
Semantics.
Semantics of phraseological units with the verbal component to have.
So, you should have been to analyze yes, phraseological units with to have, yes?
To have.
So, can you give us any examples of phraseological units, yes, with verbal components to have in English?
For example, to have a rest. One word is relax or enjoy, and so on. And to have a heart of gold. This idiom uses for person, and he is generous or he has a heart of gold. Çok az idiom alınan kullanışı.
So in your research work, you have researched phraseological units, phraseological
Fusions.
yeah, collocations. Could you explain us the difference between these ones?
Phraseological fusions. Phraseological fusions are a type of idiomatic expression, and for example, kick the bucket. Meaning separates two type, and a literal meaning and real meaning. Kick the bucket, for example, kick the bucket, a literal meaning kick the bucket, really meaning bo'lsa juda, ya'ni o'rnak degan ma'nosi. Fusionda. Phraseological units that the meaning of the whole phrase cannot be guessed. The one word, individual word. So, two or more words are connected, and one meaning. For example, For example, to break the ice. Phraseological units are idioms. Break the ice, muzna sındırış, literally meaning, and a real meaning was to start a conversation in social settings or meetings and so on. Phraseological collocations used together, but their meanings are still literal and predictable. For example, make a decision to decide. No, do a decision was incorrect. Yani hatalı. Phraseological expressions was proverbs and quotations and so on. And so on includes proverbs and quotations so on. Proverbs are persons saying and giving advice and etc. For example, honesty is the best thing in people. Quotations to be or not to be. The question is. This is the question by William Shakespeare. This example is quotation.
Can you tell us the structural Google phraseological
Structural phraseological units, for example, verb plus pronouns. For example, enjoy yourself, be yourself, and so on. And verb plus uh, word plus noun. For example, word plus phrase. For example, give up and stop trying or stop something.
Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.
Review given to this qualification thesis on the semantics of physiological units with the verbal component to have in English. The work is carried out with a level of proper standard and completely round of the content. However, there are some mistakes in the phrase which can be corrected easily. Finally, the qualification thesis by Tumova Mida is fulfilled according to the rules and it deserves a positive mark. Given by Doctor of Science, Rögergen.
Doctor of Philology.
Next presenter is Ulubekova Maftuna Murajanқызы with her scientific work, Strategies for Teaching in Mixed Ability Classes. Her scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Science, Gauhar Batirevna Joldaska, Head of English Linguistics Department of Karabakh State University.
Good morning, respected committee members. My full name is Ulubekova Maftuna. Our topic is Strategies for Teaching in Mixed Ability Classes. So, initially we have an introduction. The aim of this work, the aim of this research is to analyze and evaluate the most effective teaching for monitoring and supporting student process in mixed ability classes. So, the object of the research is to learning and teaching process in mixed ability
classrooms, so particularly focusing on how teacher, monitor, and support student process. So, subject of the research, the research of the role of the teacher in monitoring and supporting students' process in mixed ability classrooms. So, practical value of this work lies its relevance for university lectures, young teachers, and methodologists offering real-life tools and strategy for teaching mixed ability classrooms. So, next, we have a structure of the work. The research is structured into the following chapters, chapter 1 and chapter 2. As far as chapter 1, this section highlighting the challenges and opportunities they present for both students and teachers. So it will explore the needs of students and the importance creating inclusive learning environments. So as far as chapter 2, this will involve into the differentiated instruction as a strategy.
Kızlar ilk mesela bir öğrenmenin çıkan atmosferse bir zashitadan çıkana ki sürekli oturup birlikte çıkmayın. Ne yapacağız? Barış yıkıcılık kapışımında.
İyi kırıp olurma atmosfer yakasını çıkıyor. Ama gerekte yakasını çıkıyor güzel. Kırıp olursun yedi ağzına çıkılmazsa o çıkıyor gibi.
Ki çıkarttılar. Ki bakırsanız bir kırıp oturun. Çıkarsa bir şekilde as the partner relations, what this
chapter will involve into differentiated instruction strategy for supporting students in mixed ability classrooms. So the conclusion will summarize the key findings of the research, practical recommendation for teaching, such as areas for further in the field of the teachers, mixed ability classrooms. And next, we have in every classroom, students different their abilities, learning styles, interests, and backgrounds. Mixed ability classes are especially common in public schools and large institutions. So, as a teacher, you must design that meets the needs of both high-achieving and struggling learners. This presentation outlines practical strategies to manage and sustain such diverse classrooms. So, we had challenges of mixed ability classes, varying learning speeds. Some students grasp concepts quickly, to others need more time and practice. Motivation and engagement help achievers may get bored, while weaker learners may feel frustrated. So, fairness and assessment, it's difficult to evaluate all students using the same criteria. So, next, we have an importance of inclusive strategies. So, ensures active participation of all students regardless of level. Build self-confidence in lower level learners by giving them achievable goals. And next, differentiated instruction. Teachers can vary content what students learn. For example, similar texts or extended readings. So process how students learn. For example, group work, individual task, individual work. So product how students demonstrate learning, video, games, poster, and so on. So next we have a flexible group, types of grouping, ability-based, interest-based, random. As far as ability-based, stronger students paired with weaker ones. So interest-based, students work on topics they enjoy, and random to build cooperation and communication. So scaffolding. Scaffolding means giving structured help and gradually reducing support as students become independent. So use of varied materials. Students have different learning styles, visual, auditory, use a mix of visual card, image, videos, audio songs, recordings, podcasts, hands-on activities, role plays, simulations, and manipulatives. So student learning center focus shifts from teacher-led to learner-led activity, encourage students choice, topic selection, format of presentation, types of project. So continue assessment, use informal assessments to monitor learning during the process. Quiz, peer reviews, teacher observations, help identify who needs more support or extension. Role of the teacher. Now your students' needs, strengths, and preferences. Be ready to adjust lesson plans when things don't work. Always aim to support and challenge. So next. Finally, we have a conclusion. Mixed ability classes may be complex, but they are opportunities for generative teaching, and also with the right strategies, every student can feel valued and successful. So, thank you for your attention.
So what kind of strategies you have analyzed or looked through for teaching mixed ability classes?
Teaching mixed ability classes, analyze. The research employs combination qualitative and quantitative methods. This includes literature reviews, interviews, observations.
Okay, you are now
case
talking
study.
about the methods, yes, qualitative
Yes.
and the quantitative methods of your research. Now, I am just asking what kind of strategies for teaching mixed ability classes, yes?
Yes.
You have how to say, you have used in your yes. In your research, you have looked through analysis. What kind of strategies? What is strategy?
We can speak about even techniques.
Okay, the next question.
What's your conclusion?
Mixed ability classes may be complex, but they are opportunities aiming to generative teaching with the right strategies. Every student valued and successful. And also, we will summarize the key finding of the research, offer practical recommendations, teacher and in the field of the teaching mixed ability classrooms.
Analysis of the data. What kind of data you have collected, and where with what learners, maybe students or school children, what kind of mixed ability classes you have taken as an experimental group.
For example, students, school children.
How do you